Hey everybody, welcome back to the most awesomest homesteading channel on planet Earth. It typically doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with homesteading at all, homesteading off the grid. Today's video kind of sort of does have something to do with homesteading, as we are going to be we've already unboxed, but we're going to be demonstrating how to hook up and operate and testing out the Vevor diesel heater. Now Vevor has several different models in their diesel heating line, but I particularly like this one. So when they asked me if I wanted to do a demo, I requested it. As of this recording, this unit is approximately $154. But if you get it through the links in the description box below this video, you actually get a 5% discount. There's a code down there for you. And again, the link directly to the Vevor store where you can get this. And right off the bat, I want to thank Victoria, the marketing manager there at Vevor, who's made it possible for me to demo this video. Thank the folks at Vevor. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Their mantra is tough tools, half price. I've personally been making demo videos for Vevor products for about 6 years now. A lot of people that do what I do, they want everything. They're like, oh, can you send me this? Can you send me that? I never do that. They send me a list every month and they say, would you like to demo any of these? I only request the products that I know my family and I will actually personally use, because we're not hoarders and I don't want a bunch of stuff just piling up. However, 6 years is a long time, and we have tested dozens and dozens of Vevor products. And I will tell you, going back as far as 6 years ago, every single Vevor demo we have ever made based on any product we've ever demonstrated, still to this day works as well as it worked the day that we got it. So let's get right into it. And I'm going to give you a disclaimer, and this is about me, not about the diesel heater. I am the most mechanically uninclined human being you will ever meet in your life. And I'm telling you, this is not coming from a point of insecurity. I am not insecure. I'm borderline narcissistic. I have so much confidence. But when it comes to putting something together, fixing or repairing anything, or understanding anything mechanical, I suck. So my point to that is, if I'm able to figure this out simply by reading the well-written owner's manual, because I've already gone through it, that means you will be too. So now let's jump right into it, okay? Again, starting with the manual and starting with the packaging, the thing came well shipped. I've never had a Vevor product show up that wasn't packaged properly, never had anything damaged. So I did go through the owner's manual. Like all their manuals, it's well written. It's got all of the warnings, because you're using diesel fuel, you're using a battery. I do need a power source for this, and actually I guess we need two power sources. So I do have some diesel. I know my diesel can's supposed to be yellow. Well, mine's red. What did I tell you about the mechanically uninclined thing? My gas cans are blue, and I think that's supposed to be ethanol or something. I don't know, but I know what it is, so I know what goes where, brah. Just don't come to my house and try putting stuff in anything else, because it's probably not going to work. All right, and we're going to need a battery source. You can use a 12 to 24 volt battery. I've got my standby 12 volt watt cycle battery here. Okay, now these heaters are designed they're kind of like, they could be for emergency situations. For example, if your power goes out during cold weather and you need a heat source. Say the power's out for a few days, you don't have a generator. You got this thing, you got your battery and some diesel fuel, you can at least keep yourself warm. In the owner's manual, it was interesting to see, they actually show you how to use it in a vehicle. So let's say you keep this, you keep an emergency kit in your trunk or somewhere in your vehicle. It shows you how to heat your car. So let's say you're somewhere like in Colorado or Alaska and you get stuck, your car breaks down, and it could literally be days. Washington State through the Cascades. I remember driving through there years ago when I lived out on the West Coast. Man, that could cost you your life. But if you have something like this, that can keep you safe. And then also it can be used for comfort, such as camping situations. And we like to camp. We've got a big camp out coming up here in October. And typically by October, it's pretty cold at nights. So this thing's going in the tent. That's why when Victoria shot me an email and said, hey, do you think you could use this? I was like, yeah, for that camp out we've got coming in October. So it's good for multiple purposes, okay? Multiple uses. Now, aside from just the diesel heater itself, it came with two little boxes inside. And I mean, I'm just going to put this out there. I have an anxiety disorder and I have a tendency to get overwhelmed. If you give me something to piece together and it's got tons of little parts, I'm just not even going to try. I'm going to pay my son to do it because I will have an anxiety attack before I ever get the thing completed. So what I was happy to see that inside of one box, there's only 2 little parts here. This is the air vent. And then inside the other box, it's very manageable. There's just a few parts. You've got an insulating tube that goes over the exhaust pipe, which is right here. See, and look, we've already got everything out of that box, so I'm not overwhelmed. I feel great. Here's the exhaust pipe that will blow the exhaust out of the heater. And again, this is a sleeve that goes on top of that to kind of make it safe. And then this is a silencer. It's like a muffler so that it reduces the sound. And that's key because we're going to be using this in a tent, going to be trying to sleep at night. So we want to reduce any sound to any degree that we can. And then you've simply got a couple of cords. You've got a power cord to hook up to the battery. You've got the connectors to be able to connect your hoses. And there was one more thing. Here we go. It's the big... Whoa. Hello out there. Can you hear me now? This is what you'll attach to the heater to blow out the hot air. So now, let's get to it. Okay, so guys, I've never put a diesel heater together before ever, so I'm just following the instruction manual, and the first thing literally is as simple as I explained before. You stick the exhaust pipe down through this protection sleeve. It comes with a clamp here, so you're able to just stick it right in the exhaust port, which is well defined in the manual. Oh, hold on, gotta put this here first. Now it does point out that it's important to make sure that this exhaust pipe is either pointing straight out or down. Do not bend it upwards. So it slides right on, and I'm simply using my Leatherman here as far as the screwdriver portion of it to be able to tighten the clamp on. Regular screwdriver would work as well, and I might go grab one of those because of the thickness or the width of this Leatherman here. It keeps bumping up against the box there. But we got it going. I feel it tightening down. There. Now I mentioned a thing earlier about not just because I wanted you to know I'm not a hoarder, but here's the thing about the Vevor products we get in demo. We actually use them. My point of that was we don't get them, make a video, then put them on a shelf and never use them again, and then tell you that they all still work like they're new. We actually use them regularly and they still work like they're new. That was my point of that. They sent us some of the electrical heating wire that you put around your water lines underneath your house. We've been using that for going on our 6th winter now, and I think our water's only frozen once since we put them on there. It used to freeze up 5 or 6 times a winter, and that's because temperatures went below zero and stayed there for 10 days. So anyway, that's firm. See that? Solid. Now let's go on to the next step. Okay, now that the exhaust pipe is on with the safety sleeve, I want to point out that on one side you've got where the air intake will go while this thing's sucking air in, and then it's going to come out on the other side, and this is where it's going to blow out your hot air. Okay, that's where this comes in, and that's where this comes in. I went ahead and put it together off screen, but this is the part that comes in the little box that says air vent. This is pretty easy to put together. It just screws in there like that, and then it's going to go on one end of the pipe like such, and then this end is going to attach to the big hole there with one of these clamps. So once again, we're going to just do like this, put that on there, probably put that on here last because it just fell off. But yeah, it goes on there pretty easily. Just have to squeeze it a little bit. And then I'm going to screw the clamp down. There we go. Get it started with my hands there. Now remember, if you're trying to heat a small space, you've got to have the exhaust blowing out, so you're not going to, have a problem with carbon monoxide. Just going to use my Leatherman here and screw this down tight now. There, that's not coming off until I take it off. So we've got that set up, and up on top there's two compartments. One has the remote control that powers the unit, but then on the other side, I want to show you this. This unit is even better than I thought, because I mentioned we're going to be using it for camping, and I mentioned, having a power source like a battery for when you have power outages. Well, the unit does come with the cord you'll need to hook it up to a battery. See, that goes over your positive and your negative terminals of your battery, and then this plugs right into the side over here of the diesel heater. But what's really neat is that inside this little compartment right here is a power pad, a power unit that you can plug into the diesel heater right here. Goes right in there like that, and then you can run this into an extension cord. So all you need is the diesel fuel to go in the diesel heater, and you can plug it up to an existing power source. So if you're camping at a KOA or a state park campground, or if you're camping on your own property like we do a lot here, you can run an extension cord to it, and you don't even have to worry about the battery. That's awesome, isn't it? Okay, but we're going to go ahead and do it with the battery hookup, so you'll see how to do that. So before I hook it up to the battery, let's go ahead and put some fuel inside the heater. Now, as far as getting to where the fuel goes, you see there's some buckles right here. You just unbuckle it, unbuckle the top. It's like a suitcase. You open it up, and look at that. It's right there. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than this. You just unscrew the lid right there. And there is a little gauge over here. You can see how much fuel you got in it. Now, I'm not going to put too much in it because we're just doing this for demo purpose, and it's probably another 3 weeks before we're actually going to be using this. So, let's see, I put my diesel in. All right, what do they say about curiosity getting the cat? I put the whole gallon in there. I just gone down to the service station and gotten that earlier today. I wanted to see if this would hold an entire gallon, and it does with a little bit of room to spare. Put the cap back on, and I can see from the gauge, I don't know if the phone's clear enough or not for you. Yeah, it's 95% full, so it holds a gallon. That's a nice, safe measurement to use. Then we just put the top back down, and at this point we should be ready to go, other than hooking it up to the power source. And again, we could either go with an extension cord to an existing power source, or we could hook it up to a battery. So I will demonstrate this part of it because I said I would. All right, I'm going to point out another feature and benefit of these newer models of these Vevor diesel heaters. The older models didn't come with the little circles on here that just went directly on the batteries. They kind of came with loose wire ends, and you had to put some crimping things on them, and it was more involved. But this is so simple because they already come prepared to just go directly into a battery. However, they seem to be, the holes are too small to go into my battery. So what I'm going to do is screw it down inside the washers of the battery, and it's big enough to make a connection for that. So there is an FYI for that. The holes there. As long as we've got it, as long as I'm not going to be able to hold it down. Nope, it's not going to work. So there's one problem with this portion of it. This wire, these will not fit my battery ends. So at that stage in the game, we would have to go splice these and just go with the direct raw attachment, or we could get larger connectors, which is what I'll do because I don't like having loose wires anywhere. I don't know a whole lot about this kind of stuff, but I do know that you don't keep loose wires around anywhere where somebody could get hurt or you could set something on fire. So we're going to set that off to the side for the minute. And so just an FYI, Vevor, these don't fit. The holes are too small to go on these posts. So let me set this off to the side. And the good news is it's a multiple powered product. So we're simply going to go the easier route anyway and go with an existing power source. So let me plug this in here. And just as it would so happen, I have a live extension cord right over here. Let me grab it. Why would I just have a live extension cord on my front porch, you might ask? Doesn't everybody? Hey, I'm a high energy kind of guy. I got to have energy available everywhere. So let's plug it in. There. So we are now connected to an energy source. We've got our exhaust pipe on. And I am going to point out that I did not put the muffler on for noise reduction. So it might come across as a little louder than it necessarily needs to be. I will be taking this unit back apart after this demo, putting it in the box and storing it until we use it in October. But all you would do is simply, instead of connecting the exhaust pipe directly to the unit, you connect the exhaust pipe to one end of the muffler and you connect the muffler to the unit. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And then of course, this is where our hot air is going to come from. Now that we're connected to a power source, let's get out the remote control, which is in the other compartment. Remember, cord on one side, remote control on the other. And I want to be able to show you this gauge. I might have to move a lot of stuff a lot closer. But it just says on. Let's click it on.
Start heating.
See that? It says start heating. And I can hear the unit running. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. And I did this. Okay, so it's set to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. So I got to show you this. This is awesome. I mean, heck, this is so awesome. This is so awesome. I almost wish my power would go out so I could use it in my house. I'm going to reduce the temperature. It's like a thermostat. And I am a dad, so I'm the only one that's allowed to touch it. But we're going to give it about a minute or so to get going. I'm feeling a little bit of air starting to come out right now. I almost instinctively move the camera to show you, but it's not like you can feel it. But I'm feeling air coming out right now. And I can't even hear this thing. I mean, barely. I was concerned that by leaving the muffler off, it was going to be loud and obnoxious, but it's not. Wow. Folks, I think that's all there is to it. Oh, it's starting to knock. So it's starting to take fuel in. It's starting to get that diesel down into the system. This really right now feels like a breeze, like a gentle breeze, and it's not, hot. You can hear it cycling up a little more. Happy fall, by the way. Me and this thing's going to start a band. Here. Ooh, that's exhaust coming out. That's warm. I can feel that. I can smell it. It's like warmth, Oh wow, this is pretty strong, man. Yeah. This is awesome. Seeing if there's anything of importance that I missed. I mean, what it's basically going through here, like fail check and troubleshooting issues, of which we don't need any. Oh yeah, that's warm air now. And this thermostat is set to 78 degrees. Got the exhaust coming out. You hear that? It sounds like it just hit, like it just regulated. It just hit cruise control. That's where it wants to be. That air coming out of here right now is 78 degrees, okay? So now that everything's up and running, let me see if I can lower it or raise it. Wow.
Temperature control mode.
It's in temperature control mode. There we go, got it. So let me point this out to you. This top button changes the mode. So I just changed it to temperature control. Look at that. It's at 80. Watch this. Let's turn it down. That's too hot. There, let's go down to 75. This is awesome. This is so awesome. Still wanting to pump out hot air. Let's turn it down. Let's turn it down some more to 74. Now, folks, it's like 80 something degrees today. See, and it just said stop heating. Let me tell you why it said that. I mentioned to you it's 84 degrees today. It can't heat air that's already hotter than what it's sucking in. It can't suck in 84 degrees temperature air and blow out 80 degrees air, because that would make it an air conditioner. Duh. But isn't that a benefit and a feature of itself? It knew that its services were not needed, so it shut it off. It went off automatically. So what that means is, once your closed environment is at the desired temperature, boom, it'll kick off automatically. So if we're in the tent, we fall asleep, and we've got it set to 74, and the tent temperature inside is 74, just like your air, or like your heating and cooling system in your house is going to do, it's going to shut off, so we don't get in there and overheat and run into situations of heat casualties, dehydration. If it gets hot enough, I mean, that could be a severe health issue or even a life and death issue. So it works like a charm. It works exactly like it's supposed to include awesome safety features like shutting off if it's already reached the temperature. So you saw how easy that was to put together. You saw me, a self-admitted guy that sucks at putting things together, and I put it together simply by following the well-written instruction manual. It is not loud at all. I wouldn't even need to put that muffler on it to sleep inside of a tent, and I am a very light sleeper. I have like insomnia. That and the anxiety is from PTSD from the war in Iraq. We live in an old house, and if the boards settle at night, it wakes me up. This, I don't believe, would even wake me up. So I give this Vevor diesel heater 2 thumbs up. I give it 3 if I had 3, but all I have to give is 2, so I'll give what I got. Again, the links for this product, the link for this product is in the description box below. Vevor does have multiple versions of their heaters. This is the highest end one that I was offered. You know what? And even though it's shut off, it's still blowing out. It's blowing out that warm air. This is amazing. So it's like, this is just an awesome product, and I can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to getting cold so I can use it. And you do get a 5% discount. There's a discount code in the description box below. Thanks for being here with us for another awesome video from the most awesomest homesteading channel on planet Earth that typically doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with homesteading. It's easy to see why. Homesteading off the grid. See you for more next time. Man, I need some marshmallows. Cut.